So Andrew Cuomo is finally getting his comeuppance. He, according to Mediaite here, he's ordered to return $5.1 million in profits from his book deal. His book where he did a tap dance as if he beat COVID as he was actively making COVID worse. Mediaite says, the Joint Commission on Public Ethics gave Cuomo 30 days to forfeit the income 1 month after the same watchdog panel voted to revoke its prior ruling allowing Cuomo to earn outside income from his book titled American Crisis, Leadership Lessons from the COVID-19 Pandemic. The panel concluded that Cuomo violated stipulations barring him from using state resources, including government-paid staffers, in drafting of the book. The New York Assembly released a report in late November detailing how Cuomo used state resources and staff to write, publish, and promote the book. The report also detailed how the book was being used to spin unfavorable coverage surrounding then-governor and his policies regarding COVID-19 in nursing homes. The report added, we are mindful of ongoing law enforcement issues regarding these issues. The investigation showed that as they were considering these matters, the book deal was going on. There's a chapter in the book about nursing homes. They were trying to make it as what they thought was least damaging to the governor instead of just telling the truth, Assemblymember Phil Steck, a Democrat, told the AP at the time. So, first of all, the Ethics Committee made a huge error in the first place, allowing him to write this book. But now they're trying to right the wrong by saying, look, you got to return $5.1 million in profits from the book. He was instructed you can't use the staff to write the book. You can't use your government staff to write the book. He did. And also, they're very clear about the fact that he was lying and he was spinning it and he was trying to portray himself in the most positive light, which, of course, he was doing that. But now, in retrospect, it all seems obvious. Here you have a guy who lied about the COVID death rate in New York City, was doing an end zone dance as if he defeated COVID when, at the time, New York had the worst COVID numbers in the country, and he's the one who said, let's send old people back into nursing homes who are COVID positive, and that led to COVID to rip through the nursing homes like wildfire, and who knows how many people died as a direct result of his decision. And so, yeah, of course this is the right decision. He never should have been allowed to publish that goddamn book in the first place. He was just cashing in on his 15 minutes of fame and, you know, trying to really launch himself into the national scene to potentially run for president at some point. Well, it all came crashing down. I mean, the nerve of this guy, the nerve of both the Cuomos. I mean, him and Chris. Chris was, you know, helping Andrew in every way imaginable behind the scenes as he was lying about it publicly. He was doing Oppo research on Andrew Cuomo's accusers and all the while playing like he's the ethical guy on TV. When Andrew Cuomo was getting positive press all the time, Chris Cuomo would have him on a show and they'd throw softballs down the center of the plate for him. Soon as the press turned bad, he was like, look, I have an ethical responsibility not to discuss my brother on air. Well, where was that ethical responsibility when you were throwing him softballs down the center of the plate? I mean, these guys are deeply unprofessional, unethical, and pathetic. And, you know, it's never been more obvious. And remember, guys, at the time that Andrew Cuomo was getting those softballs, fact of the matter is he already had 1,000 scandals under his belt that any reasonable person would care about. You know, the anti-corruption committee that he put together, then as soon as that committee started looking into him and his allies, he disbanded the committee. I mean, what does that say? It says where there's smoke, there's fire, and he knew that, you know, don't look into me. I don't want you to find out where the bodies are buried. One of Andrew Cuomo's top aides is literally in prison for corruption. Then you have the bridge scandal where they used the wrong, supplies on the bridge that he named after his father, by the way, and then they try to cover it up after the fact. Well, that could have been a safety issue. So, I mean, the guy was never fit for office. He was never cut out for it. And look, what do you expect when you have deep, deep nepotism? Because that's what it is. The reason why we even know who Andrew Cuomo is, or Chris Cuomo, is because their father, Mario Cuomo, was governor of New York. And he was, by the way, a much more popular one than Andrew Cuomo ended up being. And so nepotism central is why Andrew became governor. Nepotism central is why Chris even got on TV. And they blew it in 1,000 different ways. Never mind all the, the Me Too stuff, which helped bring him down in a direct way. But it is delicious that he's got to return that $5.1 million because who knows if he even has it at this point. He probably went out and spent most of that. I don't know. I mean, this is up there, right? Some of the biggest falls from grace. Maybe there was John Edwards when he was cheating on his wife who had cancer. There was a huge fall from grace there. But outside of John Edwards, this is one of the biggest falls from grace that I've ever seen in political history. And it's something to watch. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.